And welcome back, everybody. We are live today with a special guest. SHYTIME is my time.
Yo, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, obviously, you've grown quite the reputation through the Lego community, and I believe I've done some research. So at Brickworld Chicago, you brought your Black Falcon army, I believe.
Yeah, not last year, the year before.
Okay, so the year before, you brought your Black Falcon army. So how's that shaping up?
I'm definitely sleeping on it. The Black Falcons have definitely grown my channel for a little bit, and I just stopped. Not more so I stopped because I don't want to do anymore. I just I kind of do them in levels. I'm upgrading. It's kind of like a series. I upgrade the army, every so often.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at the point of it right now where I need to get more pieces, and that's kind of where I kind of got stuck. Where I'm kind of at the point of right now, as we're speaking, I'm building up a supply chain because every army needs supply. No one really thinks about that. When an army goes out to go fight any army, you need ammunition, you need food, you need all that kind of stuff. So I'm currently building that, and then so I was kind of waiting on pieces, and I also want to upgrade the castle, and then but other things kind of took priority, like the city. I think lighting up the city behind me right here.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Yeah, thanks. I'm proud of it, but I had to take everything down. I had to clean it all up. I had to find all the minifigures.
Right.
I had to obviously take it apart and put the lights in and put it back. And the video for making that kind of made everything that I do with my YouTube channel kind of just stop.
Right.
Just because that took just so much time. I had to take everything out to the living room, which my wife's rule is no Lego in the living room. It has to stay in here, even for my kids. The kids can't take Lego out there.
Yeah.
If you were to walk in my house, you wouldn't know it's a Lego house, at all. You would never suspect it. So it kind of my army kind of took a little bit of hiatus, and after finishing this video, I was just more focused on the podcast and all that kind of stuff. And if you're familiar with the podcast, there's a lot that kind of comes to it with as far as getting episodes in, and I was kind of worried when I first started about how to get people live, because that's not live, but in person, because that's kind of the premise. And I'm at the point where I have 13, 14 episodes to drop from the one I just so I have a lot. And the thing is, you don't want them to linger for too long,
right?
Otherwise something kind of goes out of date.
Yeah.
So 6 months out is my rule for this out. So.
Okay.
I have 14 episodes to drop within 6 months, so I'm kind of focusing on doing that. So my army, going back to it, is kind of taking a little bit of hiatus. I had the parts to do the supply chain, so that's going to be next. It's by next Brickworld, which is next year.
Yeah.
The goal is to bring the army back to Brickworld, but with
awesome.
a larger castle facade in the background.
Yeah.
And hopefully battling out with the enemy, which the skeletons that I have too as well. So we'll see.
Sick.
Hopefully that comes up.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. I'm gonna take a quick second just to say hi to the chat. So welcome, random person, Copper, Scott, Light. How are you all doing today? Good to see you all in the chat. Are you familiar with Scott Davis?
Yes.
Yeah, he's grown quite the reputation himself. But so going back, you mentioned sitting on the stoop. How has that been going? I know you're working on that and talking about getting those out episodically. What are the plans for growth? How are you approaching that?
So Sauce, or sitting on a stoop, I'm kind of it's definitely a passion project for me. It's the view count's obviously not as much as my actual channel, but I feel I'm more recognized for the podcast, you mentioned earlier before we started, was Cali Brick Click.
Yep.
So the things with those, and which is great, which I love. When I go to a convention or anything like that, a lot of people like to talk to me in person about those things.
Yep.
And it's funny because you're only getting anywhere between 1,000 to 15,000 views. That's your range, and it really just depends on who shows up. So, but let's just say on average 1,000 views, right?
Yep.
It's 1,000 views of people who want to be there the whole time.
Right.
Versus random people just clicking on whatever you're putting on YouTube, and then they click right back off, right? So, and this is like a loyal, though, like maybe half will probably watch every single episode, and the other half will probably watch who they want to watch. But still, though, right? That's a room of 500 people that are watching 75% of the entire episode.
Right.
So then you kind of garnish like a loyal following, which is great because that's the one thing I miss about my actual channel is having a loyal following, people that want to like watch everything you do or listen to everything you do, like Ryan M&R Production. Like he's a perfect example of having a very loyal, resourceful following. Like they've grown up with him, and it doesn't matter if he gets 1 million views or 40,000 views. It's the 40,000 views that he gets. The people who are watching are watching the whole thing, and I think that's like says a lot. So the sitting on a stoop, the Cali Brick Click, that's the kind of interactions that I get when I meet people out in the public, and I love it. Like I love people that are really just down to hang out and just listen to everything I have to say or the guests have to say. And the goal with it is I don't know what the goal is. Honestly, I just miss after shutting down Cali Brick Click, meeting new people and conversing with people. And my wife is calling me. Whoops. And then, hold on. Let me just text her right quick.
Yeah, no, all good, all good.
She's on like a girls' day night out.
Oh, okay.
Or night out, weekend out. So I'm like single fathering with my kids. So she wants to like talk to the kids. Let me just give my phone to my kids real quick.
All good. Welcome, Lego Boba. I noticed you entered. Dang, look at that background, guys. That's crazy. That city goes hard. Wow. He's got the minions, it looks like. That's incredible. Ninjago. Wow. Wow. Yes, thank you for the reminder, Copper. Also, Copper, while we're at it, can you get the Discord link? Yeah, guys, that background is crazy. I can't get over that. Wow.
All right, sorry about that, man.
All good.
My bad, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's a wife's weekend turn to have fun with her friends, and they're at a beach locally here in SoCal. So we give each other our space to hang out with our friends. That's kind of
course. No, that's awesome. That's awesome, though.
Yeah. My bad. So where were we? What was I saying?
You were talking about how you, after shutting down Cali Brick Click, you missed like the interaction with the people.
Yeah. So, the one thing I love about being in the overall community, right? The overall Lego community is just like meeting people and like just being around like-minded folk. I come from the motorcycle world,
right?
So, in that community can be very volatile.
Yeah.
And I'm always have to watch my back, and it's not really although you would think it would be a welcoming place, it's not, especially like in the MC world. So when I found the Lego community, it's just I kind of gravitated to just the positivity about everybody and everyone. Just kind of peaceful and less violent. So
that's fair.
But so I live off of talking and like speaking to you, like meeting new people and hanging out and getting to see what the people like what's behind the brick.
Yeah.
With every individual. So it's something that I look forward to. And when we closed down Cali Brick Click, I was kind of saddened about that. Like I was like, I don't have a reason to go out of my way to try to talk to people.
Right.
And
right.
That's what I took from Cali Brick Click. Claire was more focused on like everyone's strategy with content creation, because that's kind of what we kind of dove into with every single person that came on. I was more like wanting to get to know people. And in the beginning of that podcast. And sorry.
All good.
And in the beginning of that I think my daughter hung up on the phone.
Oh.
So anyways, she'll figure it out. So in the beginning of the podcast, we just kind of brought our friends on, right? Because it's easy to like when you have a show, you can ask your friends who you know, and they'll come on. They'll say yes, and you can just do whatever. After a while, that can get kind of old because the audience wants to see new people. So we started. Hold on, sorry.
No,
man.
all good. What's up, Jesse? Welcome to the stream. How long will the stream be? It will be until, I think he said he has until noon Pacific time, so until 3 p.m. What time is it? We got 45 minutes still. We're good, we're good. We are all set. We got time. It's no worries. I'm gonna keep adding to my build here. We got some stuff to add to this still.
Alright, cool. My bad, last time.
All good, all good.
Last time. Single father life. I'm not really a single father, but
Right.
just having a balanced family. Comes with like doing this kind of stuff during like the day.
Yeah.
Usually like when I do Lego stuff, as far as like my own work, I do it like when everyone's asleep, like when the kids are down, nobody's probably doing whatever, but my content creation side comes in the evening. But what was I saying again? Sorry.
About how you...
okay,
yeah.
Venturing outwards. So after a while, you kind of have to venture out to your secondary friends, like people that you're not really close to, but like, you know, you have some sort of rapport with, and then you get through all of them, and then you're like, okay, now I really need to like go out of the way and kind of reach out to people that I don't really know, but I find a possible conversation to be maybe interesting. So, but that was the fun part. That was the exciting part for me. Is like, hey, would you be down? Just like how you reached out to me, like, would you be down to come on a stream or an episode? And that was like the fun. That was the kind of cool part to see whether they would say yes or not.
Right.
But by that time, you've already built a catalog of episodes, or you know, other guests that come on, so they kind of trust that you're not going to, you know, screw them over or be bad about it. So then they come on. But when we ended that, I was like, oh, I kind of miss like reaching out and talking to people. So I just wanted to start something new with that. But I was like, what can I do to be different from Cali Brick Click and all the other Lego shows and streams that are out there? And I'm like, well, everyone knows me with CBC more than my own channel. Let me just do something where I'm actually basically talking to somebody. And that kind of came from 2 years ago, I think, when I brought my Black Talkins out for the first time in Chicago, where I was on someone else's show. His name is Matt from the Brick Kings podcast. He's just a traditional podcast, right? No visual whatsoever. So he had this whole setup, like it was in the hall, and he was he's a fellow Marine too. So like he brought me on, and we were going to talk about the Black Falcons that I brought in, but we ended up talking about military stuff. So but it was in the hall, it was live, there were people running around, but he had this mic right here like I have in front of me. He had a mic for himself, a whole computer set up, no cameras.
Wow.
But that interaction, like just going back and forth, that little banter that was it. I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to do this. So immediately upon coming home, I kind of brainstormed about like, how am I going to do this? What kind of equipment do I need? How am I going to like, how is it possible to create a podcast where because it costs money to travel to places, right? And like, how am I supposed to keep this up? So I told myself, you know what? Let's get the equipment, and then we can kind of game plan that out. So I bought another DSLR. So I already had 2 DSLR cameras, so I just bought another one that I'm like using right here. I bought a soundboard. I got a Rodecaster Pro 2, the new one, and some extra equipment, right? So stuff that I could make portable. That's not really like huge. And then I told myself, you know what? It's going to be an opportunistic type of podcast. So like, if I have the chance to meet up with somebody, like if they come towards the LA area, or if I'm at a convention, or if I'm just so happen for work, be like my actual day job, like be in someone's area, maybe I can hit someone up and just do an episode. It doesn't matter who they're, you know, the size of the person. Like I've never really cared about how big someone is to come on Cali Brick Click. Definitely I'm not going to care about sauce. It's just more so that what do you have to offer in a conversation, the community, and can I really trust you? So that those are like the 3 premises. So I was just like, okay, let's just see if I can make this work. So I came up with a concept, and I was like, okay, I have all the equipment. All right, I guess I'll just wait until someone shows up. And it just so happened that Holly was coming to town. I'm like, yo, you want to come over and film my podcast? Because she was obviously aware this was happening. And then she was like, yeah, I'm down. So I did that with Brent at the same time from ACOB, a couple of Brickheads. I think he came first. And then we did those 2 episodes, and I was like, okay, I'm hooked. This is it. This is what I want to do. So I then told myself, I'm just going to drop episodes when I get them. Like Cali Bricklick was a weekly thing, and that weekly grind like destroyed me. Like I was just like, oh, I couldn't get any work done on my actual channel, and I guess Sauce is kind of doing the same thing to me right now. But like it was just tiring. It was because you're scheduling out like a month in advance of people that are come on a weekly basis. You record Monday or Tuesday. You edit it Wednesday, Thursday. You drop it by Friday. Like it's that grind every night. It's rough.
It's unmanageable to a certain extent. Like after doing it so often, and I think it's that we're gonna get into this a little bit later about how you manage your content with your personal life, with your professional life, but I really admire this idea of physical interaction, because this whole world that we've built for ourselves and this huge following, it's all digital, it's all virtual. We don't get to interact with them, we barely get to interact with each other. So how do you turn that into a physical thing, especially after the COVID years when everyone was isolated? Like how do you start to branch out again in person? So I think that's just a great idea.
Yeah, it came on the right time too, because that's when everything started. I mean, everything started opening up like a few years ago, but now people are really like the world's open right now. Yeah, right. We can pretty much go anywhere. Exactly. The virus is pretty much the next flu at this point. Right. So it's just, I was just like, you know what? If I can talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you. And then at this point now, I'm at the point where I've recorded more episodes than I can have time to put out.
You're doing something right. At that point, you're doing something right. So
So I'm happy. So at the beginning it was kind of slow. So I was able to drop an episode a month, and I was like, you know what, I could do that. 12 episodes in a year. Let's just keep that momentum going. Yeah. And then like, let's say I run out, and be like, okay, well then where can I go across the United States where there's a hub of people that can get like maybe 2 or 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes in. Right. And then wait till Chicago and get like maybe 4 or 5 after that, and that should cover the year, right? Yeah. So I going into Chicago this year, I had already recorded like 7 episodes that I needed to drop. Wow. And then I recorded another 7 over there. Yeah. And then I just recorded Harry right now, and another one as well. And then I have 2 more scheduled out in October. Wow. So like, this is a lot. Like I want to drop them, and I'm happy that people are down to support me with it. So where do I see it going? I honestly don't know. I'm at the point with it where I'm just enjoying the ride. Yeah. And then let's just see what comes of it. And I think that's like this Sauce sitting on a stoop, I think is one of the big reasons why I got accepted into LAN, because I definitely put that on an application. And I found out at Brickworld that there's a few people in Bill in Denmark within the Lego group who are fans of the show and really enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah. Wow. One of the representatives came, was like, hey, because I was giving out like SHYTIMEismyTIME bricks. So he's like, hey, can I have another one? So I'm like, okay, sure. And then so I found out later that he was giving it away to people in Denmark who really are fans of the show. Wow. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So Lego's definitely watching them. So
when you reach that level, it's like you're just.
It's like when you get like a comment from Lego, like on Instagram or something, like them simply them liking. You're like, So I'm like, I'm doing something right. So I do have some fans that are within the Lego group. So it's interesting now. I'd be like, oh, now they're really listening to what people in the community have to say. So wow. That's where it's going.
That's incredible. That is absolutely. So that's right. You also just brought up the fact that you were accepted into LAN. So congratulations. That is a huge accomplishment. What are you planning on doing with it? Like what are the plans for it?
Everyone's asking me that. Like, when are you gonna get your first sets to review?
Right. Yeah.
So on the application, I told them specifically on the application that I don't want to do reviews. That's not something that I do on my normal Lego channel, and it's not something that I'm looking forward to doing. It just sounds like work. Like all my friends who actually are part of the program and do that, like the stress levels of it, I'm just like, I'm not down for that. Like I want to continue to enjoy a Lego set when I get them and when I buy them. And where I'm at now with my actual channel, it's more catered around like building up army building, like whether it's clones, like, so there really doesn't really, he's sending me a new, Star Wars set is not something that I'm going to be able to use, right? Right. So what I really wanted is just access to like other creators and people within the Lego group, because let's say I wanted to interview someone that's in the Lego group, there's a lot of red tape you have to go through, right?
Really? So, okay.
Yeah, it's like they have to vet your entire channel, see if it's a good fit, and then, whatever it is. So me being a part of the program, it kind of eliminates all that because they already did all their vetting.
Yep.
So as long as I keep the same type of brand values in my own and keep theirs, we're fine.
Perfect.
And so they also pull people in every now and then. Like, I don't know if you remember the 2K thing that Lego dropped maybe like last year and a half.
Yeah.
So they had a bunch of content creators going to go visit that whatever it was to go actually play the game for the first time and then obviously make content about it.
Right.
I want to go to that because if I can go to that, I could. I mean, although it'll be fun to do that.
Yeah.
But you're pretty much pulling me out, paying me to go there,
Right.
and I can use sitting on a stoop to record those episodes.
Right.
Like with those 5 individuals. Like for example, like T was there, Ryan Trahan was there. Like, dude, that would be sick. Like, if I can get, I mean, I've never really asked Tyler to come on yet. Like, every time I see him at Brickworld, we're like, we hug and that's pretty much it. Like, I'll hang out and talk to him for a little bit, but I haven't asked him. But it'll be cool. Like, we're kind of stuck all there together. I'm like, hey, you're not doing it. You want to shoot an episode? We can talk about why we're here. So that's what I want. Like, I want to be able to talk to, give a reason. And also financial help to be able to travel all these places and record maybe 2 or 3 episodes with other creators. And or like if a designer comes down to the US area somewhere and they want me to cover it, I could interview that designer and like, I can ask the real questions that everybody wants.
Yes.
So, that's what I really want from the program. And I made that perfectly clear, like on the applications. So I haven't, as of right now, as we're speaking, I haven't received a review offer yet. As far as like, if like, hey, do you want to review this? There's only one set though that I do want. And that's the modular. So
that's fair.
Give me the modular building. I do something every year with it, so I'll take that, and then everything else is like, I guess. So yeah.
So
that's the plan.
That's incredible that you're going to be able to branch out, go to these events. I assume you're going to be at what is it? It's the Lego Ambassador Day at the Lego House. Are you planning on going to that?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I came in too quick to put my name in the hat for that one. And that one's like a kind of a, not everybody, like I say, all these people want to go to that. They can't take everybody. They can only take so many people. And they kind of prioritize people that haven't been.
Yeah.
So at a certain tier level. But that one, I would have to pay for my own flight
to
get over there. So that's a very pricey
gotcha, yeah.
drop.
It is,
since I'm prioritizing our stuff.
Right, it is incredibly expensive to go to Europe. I'm trying to book flights now because I'm studying abroad in Florence, Italy next semester.
Nice.
So I'm so excited, but it's so expensive and I'm just like
brush up on that Italian.
Yeah, seriously. I think I have an Italian class soon, so
Oh yeah, you definitely need to get on that.
Yeah.
But what better way to learn a language than be immersed in it? So
right, exactly.
You don't have a choice but to listen. Or
right.
use Google Translate everywhere you go.
Yeah. I'm incredibly fortunate because my dad actually grew up in Switzerland. So
nice.
So he speaks Swiss German to me, and I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn it. Like I completely understand it, just trying to learn it. It's just like one of those things where it's like, oh god, it's fun though.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm excited for you.
Thank
Have
you.
fun, man.
I appreciate.
How long are you gonna be out there?
4 months.
Oh
yeah.
Yes, you're definitely gonna come back speaking it. So.
And I'll be at Brickworld too. I'm coming right back and going straight to Brickworld. So.
Oh yes. Oh sweet. I'll see you at Brickworld.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Yeah, so you're bringing your Black Falcons with an updated facade,
or expanded facade.
Okay, expanded facade. All right.
Hopefully, we'll see.
That's the plan.
The plan for my Brickworld is because I can't fly with the equipment plus the army. There's
right.
no way. That's already traveling with like 20 grand worth of stuff on the airplane. Oh, it's kind of
that's risky.
I don't want to do that.
That's risky. Yeah.
Yeah. So because when I travel with the equipment, like. I have the soundboard as my carry-on case. Like it looks like it's like this. So the soundboard goes into this.
Okay.
So it's not that big. The camera is going to a camera bag that I have as a backpack.
Okay.
So all that's on me. So if I were to lose what I check in, which is like stands, lights, all that extra stuff, if I were to lose that somehow, I could still function without all of it. Like I still have all the stuff I need.
Right.
But it just makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Still. It's a lot of money to be walking around. And if I lose that, I lose out maybe like a G&a half worth of stuff versus what's on my back in person.
Right. Yeah.
Traveling with the army with that's just another.
Yeah.
That's another stress. So this time around, I think I'm gonna drive up to Chicago because there are some places on the way and over there in Indiana, the below of Illinois, that I want to record. So if I can like knock out 2 or 3 of those. and then maybe just knock out like 2 or 3 overseas people from like Europe.
Yep.
And then I'll be set for the year. Like I don't need to record crazy status. So that's the plan.
That'd be great. Yeah.
If I'm driving, I'm bringing the army. If I'm not driving, I'm not bringing the army.
That's totally fair. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat right now, trying to decide like whether to drive or fly, because I'm tied up in 2 different collaborations. I'm doing one with Lego Men 360 and True Squadron. We're doing
nice.
We're doing a Star Wars base, yeah. And then I'm with Titanium J doing one scene from every season of Ninjago until the Ninjago movie. So I'm gonna have all these builds, and it's just gonna be like
what a place to do a double collab though. I mean,
yeah.
It's gonna be sick. So are you part of Empire Love?
No, that's the goal. That is the goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, you need to do that giant collab.
Yeah,
so they can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the requirements, right?
Yes, you have to collaborate and display, and then there's like monthly meetings from my understanding, but you also get access to the lug book, and that's where I really want to get my hands on. Like, and also there's so many big, like, amazing, talented creators in that space as well to connect with, and then that just expands even more to do more streams with, more collaborations with, and just like you said, start to get a good variety of because like your friends in the space are really nice, but it can start to get stale when your viewers are like, hey, what about this guy? Hey, how about this? And it's like, yeah, I'd love to. It's just all about building the connection with them.
No, definitely. And it's crazy now. Like, that when I first came onto YouTube, and when I first came on, I was just a viewer, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there was only so many circles, like on the platform, like that was on YouTube. Obviously, there's so many Lego fans still running around at that time.
Right.
But online, there weren't that many.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in just a few years, these social pockets all over the space have like blew up significantly. So it's fun to find new groups of people that are sharing stuff online together and kind of not forcefully insert yourself into them, but to kind of butt in a little bit and say hi, because everyone's welcoming once you open that. They're not like being keeping people away. It's just like you just need a reason to talk to somebody, and then everyone's just as welcoming as they are online as they are in real life.
Yes.
So it's cool to kind of like see a new group of AFOs running around online, and it's just like, hey, say what's up, and then you kind of open it up again, trying to kind of bring it back to how it was back in the day, where everyone just kind of knew everybody.
Yeah.
But at a grander scale.
Yeah, and I definitely think, to your point, that the Lego community is starting to do that. Like, so far, everybody knows everybody. Like, as far as I've talked to Micah, Will, I've become very good friends with them. Cole from Lego Men 360. Even some smaller creators, like, I'm not sure if you know who Tiger Builds is, or if you've heard of him.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. So, like, everybody knows everybody, and it's like, oh, wow. And then you have, like, your different subgroups in the Lego community that, like, when it comes down to it, those are the ones that go hang out together.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's really nice that everyone is aware of what everyone else is doing. Whether or not they're interested, they are aware, and that is just a really nice feeling to be a part of a community that knows what everyone's up to, even if they are and are not interested.
Yeah, I mean, it also helps that where everyone's posting it. So.
Yeah, right.
It definitely helps there. Yeah, that is totally true. Like, it's very cliquey, but not like in a negative stance where like, oh, you're not cool enough to be here. Mm-hmm. It's just cliquey because you just follow other people that you hang out with and want to talk to, but everyone's cool about opening up the conversation to other people and not just not kind of shielding, or gatekeeping any knowledge or friendships or anything like that.
Exactly.
So, just you mentioning all those names, like, dude, I know all or most of the people that you brought up.
Yeah.
And it's not like I just see them from afar. No, I've seen them running around in different people. So Titanium J is a perfect example of that. Yeah. Like, you see them hanging out with like the older AFOs from back in the day that still do their building streams.
Right.
And then you see them hanging around with like, more of the lively shows that are more interactive with the chat. Mm-hmm. And then you see him kind of just venturing off in all these areas. Like, when you see him at Chicago, he's like just everywhere.
Wow. Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Yeah. So I'm super excited to be working with such a wide variety of people as well. Mm-hmm. And it's just like there's also so many people are now doing so many different things. Like, you have, I believe his name is Goldfire, doing the castle. He is like become one of the castle guys at this point. And then you have M&R, who's like covered review, Jang Bricks, M&R, like covering reviews. M&R's, of course, more niche to Star Wars. And then you have like Solid Bricks, Rich Boy J. And not that Rich Boy J and Brickwiz have been uploading very often, but they still, like, they're also there, right, with Solid Bricks. Like, the big mock diorama guys, like, you go to. So it's just interesting to see everyone kind of split off into their little niches. Because as far as I know, like, there are people that cross over a niche, but everyone seems to have their own specific niche. And even if you're like a mock builder, depends on what area you go into at that point.
Oh yeah, most def. Like, I think the LEGO community at this point of time is overly saturated. There's a lot of creators out there.
Yes.
So the best way to succeed at this point, or at least if you're gonna talk YouTube strategy, as far as growth is concerned, like, you have to niche up harder.
Yes.
Like, before, it's like just kind of spread your wings. Now it's like, what? Like, if I were to niche up my channel specifically, right? It should just only be my Black Falcon Army. That's the only thing I should be posting.
Right.
Like, because that's what people most of my audience comes to watch, and then that only kind of expands that, right? Like, you said Goldfire right there, right? So he's really Castle. He should only be doing Castle. He should not go anywhere else.
Yes.
That's if you want, at this point, where LEGO Online YouTube is, that's the best strategy going forward. Right. If you want to do more of a variety thing, just kind of open a second channel if one thing is growing up.
Right.
So, but for me, that thing, I just post when I want to post because I don't really care of how big I get. I don't do this full time. This is still a hobby for me. Yeah. My baby right now is sitting on a stoop, and I just want to keep that, like, pushing that as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And then when I feel like posting up on SHYTIMEismyTIME, then I'll post up on there. So, but. It is. You are seeing more creators being more niched up, than they were before.
Yes.
So it's a common strategy, and I think that's a wise move until it changes again. Because YouTube's not consistent; it might flip later on down the line.
Exactly.
People might get sick of the fast-paced movement, which I'm starting to see now. Like, people want to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
The half thumbnail might die, which I'm hoping for.
I honestly agree. I've tried so many different things. It's honestly so tough. I started back in last May.
You're doing well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, 2023. May 2023 is when I started up. In August, I was at 100 subscribers. I dropped a Mario video, Mario minifigures. It went crazy. When people look at my channel, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're a one-hit wonder." Because that has 86,000 views. That got me 430 something subs. Like, it just blew up. So now I'm struggling a little bit. I did a part 2 to the Mario. I even dabbled in a Taylor Swift video, like minifigure series, trying to lean into the minifigure series. Not doing great. I was like, okay, let me go fall back on mock building. I have my I have a mock I'm working on. So I'm trying my best to fall back on mock building and trying to, but like you said, when you niche, you really need to, like, lean hard into that niche. So I'm trying to explore what works best now, because my main love is Star Wars. That's the number one love I have for the themes. But then I also want to do Ninjago mocks and Harry Potter, and, like, there's so many different things I want to do. Someone who's really, I think, learned how to handle that is SW Bricks and Figs. He does an amazing job at narrowing in, but also doing what he wants. So it's kind of like trying to find that balance right now. And then with the thumbnails, I made a Clone Army video. I was like, yeah, this is gonna do great, and it's like 300 views, and I'm like, that's great, but, like, where's the rest of it?
Yeah, it's definitely a game when it comes to trying to fight each other for viewership, right? Yeah. Because it's always, I mean, we can get into this. I mean, obviously, thumbnail and title are probably the most important thing in your entire process. Right. Without either or, no one's gonna click on the video. Yep. So if your title sucks, no one's gonna search it. Or, like, and that title by itself is already an argument, right? Because is a title something people are not going to type in? Is the title something that's just overly saturated that your video won't come up first? It's going to go all the way. It's going to come out like 26 out of out of the 50. Right. Is your thumbnail not catchy enough to make people want to watch it? Does it look like everybody else's? or it's just not interesting enough that people want to listen to what you have to say about that topic, just because it doesn't matter to anybody else.
Right.
So all those factors come into play when it comes to like someone just clicking on the video. And then obviously when you have your video, your first 30 seconds are very important. Like you can't keep people in past the introduction mark.
Yeah.
Then YouTube's not going to push. And then after that, the last 20% of the important part of the entire video is retention.
Exactly.
Like are people clicking up too early? So like what is it about your video that's not keeping that attention? And that's where we're at today with all these videos with the high stimulation, like like it's just too much, like and you're fighting for the retention rate. That's what those videos are.
Yes.
So and that's why those videos get the views, because they're everyone that's doing them know the formula very well to be able to keep people from clicking off. And it's sad to say a lot of those people are kids. So which then comes back to if you were to compare any one of the fast-paced videos that are out there versus, again, I'm gonna use Ryan as a perfect example. Ryan's videos aren't fast-paced; they're very slow. Or even the perfect equation right now, I think, who's doing it right is Firebird.
Yes.
Perfect. Like he has a very distinctive thumbnail that's eye-catchy, straight to the point, and simple. His title's always killer, and you already know what he's going to talk about. And then when you actually watch the video, it's at a very, very like digestible pace.
Yes.
So, he's definitely getting the kids to click on it. Whether they stay, it's on them. But the adults are mature enough to like click on the video because eye-catchy, because it doesn't look like a kid thing,
right?
And then stay for the whole thing.
Yes.
So, and that's why he's seeing a lot of success in that. And obviously the mechs that he's doing now are winning, like it's cool.
Yeah.
So he definitely found that niche. He's gonna stick with it. But I think Firebird Caleb, he's like he's doing it like how I think he kind of found that balance.
Yes.
That I think a lot of people should try to emulate if they can.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's actually so funny that I talked to Caleb like right after Brick World, because unfortunately I couldn't make it this year, but I talked to him right after because we were trying to get him on board with the collaboration, and he's like, I got so much other stuff going on right now, because we had no idea he was doing the Empire Lug collaboration with the Black Falcon Castle. And he's like, I'm just tied up in so many things. I was like, no worries at all. By the way, of your content. And he's like, thank you. I checked out your content. It's always a journey for better content, or whatever he said. And it just like that really stuck with me, because like, yeah, it is 100%. That's all it is. It's like, how can you make the best content possible? So
it's I tell people all the time, like, especially when it first starts, like, just like, what do they do? Like, what are their suggestions? And I'm like, just make a video.
Right.
Doesn't matter how it does. Just do the best you can for that video, for your skill set at that time. Like, if you're just posting something to post it, don't post it. Like, make a video as best you can with the skills you have and the equipment that you have.
Right.
Over time, you're gonna attain the skills to be able to do some crazy things when your equipment upgrades.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that really grew off of an iPhone. Like, you don't really need fancy A7 Sony DSLRs to be able to do what you want to do.
Right.
Like, just you need to be able to know what works, and then by that time, whatever equipment you add, it only adds to an asset to what you have. Versus like you make really good looking videos in a very crappy way.
Yes.
Right. You know what I mean. Like you can't start with equipment because you don't have the skills to be able to use the equipment correctly.
Yeah.
And then it just looks like you can't improve.
Right.
I mean, visually you can improve, but then your editing needs to improve. Your sound, your whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, just make a video and it'll get better over time. You just gotta make them. You gotta take the critiques. You gotta figure out what works for you, and then after a while, start adding on another camera or your sound or your lighting, like whatever it is. Sorry, my dog's barking at the moment.
All good.
And then even with myself, like, I'm still trying to figure out what works for me for sauce. Like right now, this shot, whatever I do here, like, set gold. I'm good.
Right.
But I've done it like hundreds of times to be able to be like, okay, I know what works in here. If I were to shoot a podcast in this room, this guarantee the sound and visually and the lighting should be good. Yeah. Because I already know how to work the room.
Yeah.
The problem with sauce is that, or sitting on a soup, is that I'm going to new places every time.
Yeah.
So the sound might not sound the same. The looks might not sound the same. visually you might not sound the same. The camera settings have to change up every time. Like I'll use the Emmasaurus episode of Sauce as an example, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious to see that I have brown skin. She has white skin.
Yes.
Right? She has a white room. So the lighting bounces off her differently than it would for me. And if I were to film us, especially using one camera, if I'm not using the color boards that I should be using to balance the lighting between both of us as a professional would, like they would have two different color boards behind the camera to reflect the lighting to us in a different way. So that way we don't look like I don't look too orange when we're fixing a post, and she doesn't look too white or pale when she fixes a post. But that's like hardcore stuff that I can't bring with me everywhere we go.
Exactly.
So I gotta fix it and post as best I can. But learning all that, like I didn't go to school for any of this, so I gotta like figure it out. So like now I know next time I'm in a whiter room, and I'm dealing with someone with lighter skin complexion, I gotta keep the white balance in a specific way, so that way if I need to adjust it in post, it won't look like they're too pink when I try to up the contrast a little bit, or like they're too white. So same thing with me, like I have to make sure that I don't look too brown or too orange, otherwise it just looks. So that's just lighting.
Yeah, there's so much friends at school about this, and they're like, oh, how's it going? I'm like, yeah, I have this many subscribers this week, whatever, I'm working on this video or this project, and they're like, and they look at the video and like, wow, your editing is really good. I was like, yeah, but that's the only aspect that's really good. Like my lighting can always be improved, whatever. I tried to upgrade my audio. I have a Yeti microphone that I use. Like I love it to death. I'm learning how. I learned literally 2 months ago, not even, how to adjust it. I've had this thing since Christmas. I just learned how to adjust it to change the audio for what I need. Because like when I'm voice recording.
Is that the Blue Yeti?
Yeah.
Should be closer to your face.
Good to know. That's good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, see, I'm better already.
Awesome.
I mean, well, if you have it on Omni or directional on the back?
Not directional. Like it's picking up.
Never mind. You can put that anywhere.
Yeah. Because like, but that's the thing. For directional, I'll change it to directional. I'll have it right in front of my face for voice recording. But for streams, I'll change it and it'll pick up everything. And I just learned that, and it's like, I could have done like all the audio in some. You can hear it in some of my old videos, like how the audio is, and it's just like sounds like I'm screaming into the mic, even though I'm not. And it's
keep the game down. No, it's that comes. But there you go. See, that comes with it, right?
Right.
So when you upgrade your equipment slowly over time, you slowly you get better at it. You know how to work your equipment. You understand it. You see what works and what doesn't, and then you just get better every video that he drops out. So as opposed to just getting all of this and just being overwhelmed trying to get it all together. And none of my videos to this day are perfect. Like there's always something in my mind that I know I can improve. As long as you think that way, like what can I do better, you'll be banging in no time. So
that's exactly it. I was fortunate enough to spend this summer only doing YouTube pretty much. I had the opportunity. I did an internship for my mom's nonprofit, but besides, that's how I got paid. But I'm fortunate enough to be monetized on this channel. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do this as best to full time as possible. So just getting that experience, it's like this is 100% what I want to do when I get older. Like this is the dream life, but I'm going to school for something, and I have to keep that in mind.
If you don't mind me asking, what are you going to school for?
I'm double majoring, actually, in architecture and construction management. So...
Wow.
Yeah.
That's complete opposite of what you want to do on YouTube.
Yes.
Do you watch architect YouTubers?
Sometimes. It depends, like, what I'm into. Like, there's sometimes where I'll watch Minecraft, or I'll watch Lego, or, sometimes I'll sit there and just watch architecture stuff. It's... Yeah.
There's this one chick that's like really good. I forgot her name. She's Asian. She's an architect, and she goes into like really deep dives of for example, the rolling cities.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Like is that possible? Like what? Like is that feasible? Like the giant. What are they doing in Saudi Arabia? Like the planned long line.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So she takes like or like even a prison. Like in the ocean, like one of those silos.
Yes.
Like, she'll take stuff like that, which is like interesting enough for someone who doesn't care about architecture and sees if it's feasible.
Yes. Yeah.
So she's doing something that she went to school for, and she has the mastery over, and she's applying it to YouTube.
That's incredible.
And So like, hey, I mean, I hope you pursue it too because it's money.
Yeah, it's,
money's money.
Yeah.
And it's a. And I'm trying to push you away from YouTube.
Right.
I just want to, I push people if they have the opportunity. Like, if you go all in right now, cool, go all in.
Yes.
And go all in.
Yes.
If you're gonna get a safety net, hey, go for that too. I think just do what you really want to do.
Yeah.
I'm just, whether you succeed in architecture or you succeed here, it just, I think it's good to expand your financial portfolio of what you're capable of doing. So
100%.
It's smart to finish school because you'll have that. You'll always have that.
This is not a viable. This is not a viable job right now.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like I try to. I mean, I wasn't trying to say it, but like, it's I know people that do this full time and make decent money off.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Of
course.
And
I'm gonna say exactly what I'm saying on Emily's episode on Sauce. Is just she even says it on her channel where like YouTuber lifespans really is 7 years.
Yes.
You have 7 years.
Right.
And after 7 years, you gotta either change something totally different or figure it out.
Right.
Because you can't do the same thing for 7 years on YouTube. Like your channel's gonna die.
Yeah.
So it's just like and my reaction to that is like, what are you gonna do when you're like 80?
Yeah. Right.
That's exactly. You're gonna watch
it.
you when you're 8 years old.
That's exactly it. Maybe.
You don't know.
But that's the thing where I'm kind of taking this approach where I want to do architecture. Like that's what I'm going to. Lego actually brought me into architecture. My dream job is to actually go work for the Lego group as a set designer. Like ambitious. You're hopping on this call and you're like, oh, this kid is crazy. His ambitions are out of this world.
No, that's good. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm like,
no.
You should be ambitious.
I know. But like that's the reaction I get from most people. It's like, you are insane. Like there's so many.
You have to be succeed on YouTube.
Right.
To be real.
Right. And so like my dream job, go be a Lego set designer. Like have YouTube as a backup. That would be such a killer combo. Like, but at the same time, if that doesn't pan out and I go work in firms, it's just always have YouTube as a backup. I wanted to start this now, so it would hopefully be a decent side hustle. I'm graduating in 3 years. In 3 years, this could grow, who knows, 20,000 subs, whatever it grows to. So, yeah, it's always like a side hobby. And I always was like, I have this friend from middle school, and he is making money. Like, he's doing so well with YouTube. He's over 230k subs, like, making Nintendo content. It's what he loves every single week. He's so regimented with it. He's just doing great, and I've watched him since 7th grade or 9th grade. He hit 1,000 subs, but I've watched him since 7th grade just do this consistently, and he's made changes. He's found what works. He's doing it. But then you bring up the 7-year rule, and it's like, well, where is he going to be in 7 years? Is he going to make that drastic change to where he's going to be able to keep pursuing this? Like, where is he going with that? Because he's also in school for, I think it's video production or something along those lines.
Oh, that's not going to amplify what he does.
Yeah. So he's so he's doing that, and it's
no, that's good.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like, how can I take my experience from YouTube and adapt it into my life and create that balance that, like, really you need to find that balance, because that's what I found. Because I, of course, even though I'm not necessarily working, I have plans with friends, I have my family that I like to hang out with, and there's like different, like, I spent a lot of my time inside, and I tried once a day to go out. We have a pool in the back. I tried once a day, go in the pool. It's warm out, why not? Like, so there's like little things that you want to do. So I guess what I'm trying to segue into is like, where's that balance for you? Because obviously you're a father, you're a husband, you work a full-time job, you do this as a hobby, and where does that balance come in?
Oh man, I think it's what priority, right?
Yeah.
It's really anything in life. I'll just use like two friends, right? Mm-hmm. You have two friends that like grew up together, and then they split off to go to school, make a family, whatever, and then they either see each other a lot, or they don't. Right. After that, and it really comes down to their own priorities. Now, if they prioritize their relationship, they would make it work. They would like, hey, once a month, let's hang out, or like, hey, it's your birthdays, we always make it. So, you'll make that priority. Right. So just like balancing all the stuff that I do in my life, I prioritize. Yeah. So number one, kids and wife and kids come first.
Yes.
Right. If I venture off a little bit too far one way, and I can see that it's kind of straining that relationship or whatever, I stop what I do and I go back.
Yep.
I recalibrate. So that's the immediate. After that, it's the friends that I have, like my physical friends that I can actually touch because I can touch them.
Right.
Like I can, whatever they're going through, I can support them in any way immediately.
Right.
After that will be my friends that I made here. Like,
yes.
Although I love some of my friends here more than some of my friends I have in physical form that I can see all the time.
Yeah.
I can't get to them quickly if something were to happen. I can call them, I can message them out, but if something were to happen to them tomorrow, I have to jump on a plane. It's gonna take me a couple hours to get there.
Yes.
So that's kind of a hit or miss. I forgot work. Luckily for work, for me, I'm at a position in my life with what I'm doing is that they give me all the flexibility that I need.
That's
like
really
if I
nice.
need time off, I just stop working. Wow. Obviously, I won't get paid for it.
Yeah.
But I do have a pretty stressful, mindset when it comes to what I'm doing. But when I'm not doing it, I don't worry about it. Like it's off. They let me go on these trips when I want to go to, as long as I get my work done.
Wow.
So I finally found a career path that allows me to do that, at least where I'm at right now.
Yep.
Before that wasn't the case. Like I had to put work first before everything.
Yeah.
And although it sucked, it got me this house that I have right now. It gets me all this stuff behind me.
Right.
Paid for my wedding. Paid for my kids when they first started out, coming out into this world. So I can't really say like it didn't give me anything. It just gave me a lot of stress and pain.
Right.
But it gave me to where I'm at now, to where my career. I'm just chilling. I'm coasting on that, and I have everyone's good.
Yeah.
So. And then the Lego's after.
Yes.
And at this point, I think this year will be the first time I'm in the green by the end of the year. So every year,
wow,
I've just been hardcore in the red. So
wow,
yeah. I mean, a lot of it comes to do like what your skill sets come to do. Like, how can you take what you love to do and optimize, like making it out of money, like turning it into money.
Yes.
Right. So. For me, it's not garnishing millions of views.
Right.
There's no way now. Like my content doesn't really cater to that.
Right.
And I'm not aiming for that. If a video does well, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Let's move on. That's my mindset every time I came on YouTube. And the thing is, like, I've gained so much knowledge from all these creators, especially on Cali Bricklick, where we spoke about this.
Right.
Where I know what works.
Yes. Yes.
So. But it just doesn't feel right for me. Like if I would apply that, let's say on the short form content, like reels and shorts, like trends are what makes those things blow up, right? So if the trending sound will make that go up. But for me, that feels like I'm copying somebody, even though I technically should be doing that. But my own ethics with doing content, like I can't do that. So I already shoot myself in the foot. Doing the thumbnails like everybody else with the hash. Do this with arrow. Yeah. I should be doing that, but I don't like that. Yeah. So I'm shooting myself in the foot. So I'm knowingly shooting myself in the foot when it comes to views. Okay. But with that being said, I have built a skill set when it comes to filming stuff, making stuff like that, or like the podcast stuff that I create. I have the equipment to do stuff like that. Right. So I optimize what I have, and I make money off of it. It's obviously not from YouTube, but it's still from YouTube. Like it's what I've obtained from this knowledge of being here. Yeah. So because I'm starting to do that type of stuff, I'm finally making money off a hobby that I was just a hobby. And I'm kind of thinking like, well, if this continues to grow, and it challenges what I'm making in real life, in my actual day job, then maybe in the future I can switch. But then that just comes with what I want to prioritize at that moment. Yep. And right now my priority is how do I balance it? It's just whatever I prioritize at that time, which again, it's always starting with my family, which is the reason why when I can only do YouTube stuff, content creator stuff, when they're all asleep. Yeah. So when kids are in bed and the wife's like we're good, giving each other our own free time, then. Yeah, I work on the YouTube stuff, which is also why I don't post a lot. It's just because
it's understandable.
It's not my priority. My priority at this time, and that can flip any moment. Like for example, if I want to put a specific video, like the city one, where I'm showing off every single project lit up, that's gonna be my priority as far as content creation is concerned. So everything just goes into that, and sometimes my family give me that they'll give me that space because they know I want to put this out. So again, it's a hard thing to do, especially when you have kids and a spouse or a significant other. Yeah. So right now, I don't know what your living situation is. I know you're in school, right now is the time to do all that. Explore, like, make mistakes. Like, even if you, not saying that I want you to drop out of school, even if you were to stop, put that on pause, and just try this, go for it. Like, you can still go back to school. Like, I'm in my late 30s, so, like, whatever I pivot to now, even though I can pivot, it can have, I have to think about other aspects and other variables that can impact that. You know what I mean? Obviously, my kids, my mortgage, and all that kind of stuff. You, right now is the time to mess up, make mistakes, and succeed. So, like, I kind of missed out on that. So, I hope, like, whatever you venture out to do, I mean, going to Italy is dope. Like, go have fun, man.
I'm so excited. Like, I'm so hyped.
Yeah, you're also in that golden age where, like, you could really, like, what your decisions now could really set you up in the future, too.
Right.
So, you know, that's that kind of priority balance that you're going to have to figure out. Like, dumping money in a Roth IRA now for retirement will give you so much more money than doing it when you're in your mid-30s. Like, stuff like that. Like, buying a house now might be more beneficial than buying a house.
Honestly, it's kind of what I started thinking about, because I'm not quite yet at the, I guess I am at the age, like, it's kind of weird. I still see myself as a kid. I'm 19 years old. I still live at home with my parents and my sister, and I move in. It's actually so good that you suggested today, because I was like, oh no, when I'm back at school, I'm not gonna have time for this. Oh my god. And then turns out my room is double the size it was last year at school, and I'm setting up a YouTube studio in there for my free time. And my schedule, they mixed it up. So now I'm taking a lighter schedule, 15 credits instead of 18, which kind of frees up time to have a social life this year. Last year, I didn't have a social life. And it's like, last year, for the first time, I started experiencing not having a significant other. And it's like, the amount of, well, it was a good thing, because the amount of time that was freed up for me to start to experience everything on my own, like, a lot of it was more like we experienced everything together, and I started to have my own experiences, which was really nice. It was really nice because I'm able to do all of this stuff now. So you said it right there. So you had at the end of the day, it comes to what you're going to prioritize when you start going back to school, right? In your new room, right? Like, you have your setup right behind you. Yeah. Once you're done with your work, you can easily be like, I actually want to get a social life. So you start you kind of put the YouTube stuff on the side, and that's okay. Again, it just comes to what you're prioritizing, like, at that moment, and what you think you need for the future. You could be saying, you know what, I need a double grind at this because I need that income later, and if this is going to succeed, I gotta limit the social life for right now. Right. I gotta hit for these, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm on that grind. Once school's over, it's YouTube. Right. Cool. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the social time. Yeah. If the work for school and or YouTube has to exceed into the social time, it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. It just comes down to what you want, man. And I think you're well balanced enough to know what you need. I appreciate that. I think you'll make that decision pretty easily. Yeah. I am aware of the time. I know you have to go soon. I have one. I'm good a little bit. We can keep going. Oh, you're good? You're good? All right. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I wanted to pivot a little bit into your Lego collection and your collecting habits. Habits, like how it goes back. I saw your video on that. I believe it was you. You made a video like, is this a bad habit or something? Yeah, bad habits. Yeah. So, obviously, I noticed you have Ninjago on like the very bottom shelf under the city. Oh, the city. You have the city. You have Minions, it looks like, on that little turntable. You have everything. There's everything. Yeah. So what's your favorite? What almost are there things that you feel like you're missing out on? Like, what's going on? Yeah. Okay, just to go back on the priority thing, because you brought it up. The Minions, I've been working on that video in the queue for like 2 months. Really? I'm just not motivated enough to finish it. That's the thing. It's like I'm working on it. I'm like going through it. I'm like, I'm not having fun with this video. I should probably finish it because I'm like halfway done, or not even a third of the way done. Yeah. And it aligns to what I feel like I am in the YouTube space, which is just a simple army builder. Yeah. But like, it'll be funny because it's Minions and no one's army building Minions. Yeah. That's the whole premise of the video. Yeah. That's why. But I'm just that's not hilarious. It, so it's just been sitting there. Oh my god. But anyways,
my collecting, I think I'm at the point now, and I always said this in the past, where I buy what I want, right, and I don't have any space. But now I'm so bursting in the seams of where I can put Lego that I have been doing a good job just not buying anything that I don't need immediately. So
That's
like,
perfect.
I obviously want the Lord of the Rings stuff, both of them.
Yes.
I have nowhere to put the Rivendell or Barad-dûr. I have nowhere to put it. Like, where can I put that? Anywhere. Like it's just gonna be like my UCS stars, giant cursors that I have in the back, the Star Destroyer and the Venator.
Yeah.
Like I have nowhere to put those things. And the Titanic is just sitting in this box.
Yeah.
So I'm that's like $2,500 right there, just sitting there. So I think when it gets easier when like you pass a release day.
Yeah.
Of all the things that you think you want. Once you just start passing them, it gets easier.
Yes.
So right now, I think I'm just focusing on the army. Anything that highlights the Black Falcon army, because that kind of relates to content creation, right? So I can kind of make videos off of that.
Right.
And every now and then, if I want a set, I'll build it, destroy it, goes into the piece collection, kids play with it, and it's over.
Perfect.
But as a favorite, I think the stuff that I made myself would be my favorite stuff. So obviously
awesome.
the modular castle that I'm working on, any of the army builds that I have. I think I just like looking at a million minifigures on the table. I think that's mainly it.
Oh my god, people don't understand it. I set up my clone army for that video, and my godmother comes over and is like, "You're ridiculous." And I was like, "No, this is epic." Like,
it's a flex. Like, it's so hard to obtain a single clone nowadays. Like $15 for a clone. Have that 1,000 on there. It's like, that's like having 4 Lamborghinis. Like, there's a reason why people like to flex like that.
Right.
Like, showing off their entire shoe collection. No, look at my 500 clone army right here. So with me, like, I think my most prized Lego is none of that. Like, my most prized Lego is like the wall of signatures that I have on the wall. Like, if I were to only choose one thing out of here and pull out of a fire, I'm taking that with me because I can't replace any of that.
Right.
Like, so when I see you next Chicago, I'm going to ask you to sign. Like, we're going to be like, "Hey, finally, what's up? How you doing? Hey, sign this brick for me real quick." That's exactly what's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
So that wall is what I would take with me. That's my most prized possession. Because in the end, like, all this, I can care less about. Like, it goes away tomorrow. It would suck.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna die. Like, it's not gonna destroy me. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna spend 3 times as much obtaining the thing. Yeah. But I can't replace that. And I'm here for the community. Like, I love just being in this community in general. So whether it's a huge part of my life or just a small part of it where I'm like here or there.
Right.
I just like being here, and that represents all of that.
That's
so
incredible.
The UCS Millennium Falcon doesn't represent that for me. It's just, that's cool, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So. I don't really have like a, favorite like Lego thing that I have. I'm proud of stuff that I've created, like the city. I'm proud of that. Yes. I'm proud of like the Black Falcon Army. I'm proud of all the other armies that I inevitably will create one day.
Yeah.
But I'm proud that like custom military companies like Brickmania have made me in a minifigure and made my unit and paid homage to all the military stuff that me and my father have done.
Right.
So I'm happy about all that, but it's just plastic in the end of the day. So I've come to the point where I'm okay with letting stuff go. Like, I don't need to hold it and
that's
hoard it.
That's a good mindset.
So, and with mindset, it's just like when I look at the new releases that are coming out, I could be like, that's cool.
Yeah.
If I don't have that sudden urge to buy it immediately, then I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need to buy it.
Yeah.
So
that's
it comes with, and it's been saving me a lot of money.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Honestly, it goes back into all these things with like almost like with motivation, where people are like, "Hey, why aren't you uploading?" I was like, if you even knew what goes into a video, there's probably well over 50 hours that go into a single video, maybe even upwards of 100.
Yeah. Wait.
So it's just like, well, if you even just knew what I do for this channel, for these videos, and that's kind of the same mindset I have with the sets. It's like, hey, are you buying the new sets? I was like, my bank account is saying no right now. That's what's being told. And I would love, there are so many sets I'd love to buy. If I had the money, I would probably spend, well over $50,000 on everything I would like to buy. But it's not manageable. And you were talking about space. I've had sitting here since last Christmas, or 2 Christmases ago, the Ninjago City Gardens. I can't build it. I have nowhere to put it. It's the last big set. All my big sets are on display. I have the Hogwarts Castle, I have the Death Star, and I have the Disney Castle
Disney
there.
Castle right there.
And the UCS gunship are like my 4 big sets. I don't... Of course, I would like the UCS Falcon. I don't need it. I'm very happy with the collection I've grown and the big sets I have.
Yeah.
Like, it's starting to get an appreciation for what you do have is kind of what I've learned.
Yes.
Because as a kid, you're like, oh, I wish I could afford that, yada, yada, yada. I want this, I want that. And then as you grow older and you see what you have compared to others, it's like, well, I really appreciate what I've been able to grow. It's just like the little change in mindset, and it's...
Yeah, no, yeah, I get that. With you, though, it's cool because you and I are coming to Lego collection at different points of our lives, right? I had a huge dark age from, you know, from when I was 12 till I was like 31, 32, yeah 31.
Okay.
So 31, 32, like I had a huge dark age. There's a lot of stuff I missed out on.
Right.
And you're coming at a point where you're starting to gain some income if you're
Right.
not being given the income by your parents, right? So you're
right.
coming from that aspect.
Yeah.
I've had a whole decade and a half to kind of figure out how to get money.
Yeah.
On a
Yeah.
regulatory basis. So
Right.
when I started coming into Lego, I had discretionary income.
Yes.
So I could be like, I can just buy whatever I want. So I can live what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
when I was a kid and I wish I had that,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I can buy that. I want that. I'm going to get it right now.
Yeah.
And then, because you see with with adult fans all the time, like ones that come like around like, you know, into their late 20s, mid, or whatever, all the way from there, whenever
Right.
they decide to come back. They're like, they want to get everything they missed out on. They
Yeah.
want to buy everything.
Right,
So
right,
the
right.
honeymoon stage is what we call
Yes.
it. It's like, buy everything. It's a GWP. I'm going to get the GWP with whatever comes out. Every
Yeah.
release day, they're going to spend like $5,000.
Yeah.
And then they hit a point where they're like,
The only person,
totally.
the only person I've seen that's able to maintain it, well, there's a few, but like the only person that's able to get everything is Duck Bricks. He just has everything, like no questions asked. He's like, and then I'm just like, I guess I'm done.
Kurt comes from a very well-off family.
Yes.
And he's getting the money himself. Like he's
Right,
he's an
right,
honest
right.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like he has a very good mindset of it. So he's paying for it himself and he doesn't
Yes.
not knocking him for like having no kids, but he has no
Right.
kids.
Right, right.
I don't know where his love life is at the moment, but you know, he can get on himself and he has that ability to get on himself. So
Yeah.
a lot of us we can't, and I'm jealous that he can do that.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit, but you know, I'm happy that he's able to do that because I can
Yes.
kind of live through it. You know, with him sharing it, like
Yeah.
one thing that's good about YouTube is like, let's say you get the set that I wanted, right?
Right.
Let's just say a new Ninjago set, right? You got it. I could, and you build it, you look at it. I could technically, if I really want to, change my own mindset and be like, oh, well, then I saw everything because you built it all.
Right,
I watched you build
right,
it, I watched
right,
you
right,
review it,
right,
and I'm
right.
living it through you, and then. You know, versus me just getting and doing the same thing. And once you can flip that switch in your head, that if your friends are already doing it and
Yeah.
you see it everywhere, you don't need it.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
It goes back to that.
having everything, sharing it,
It's
you
incredible.
kind of take away. Yeah, I'm like, cool. I don't need to get it
Yeah.
anymore.
It's honestly incredible to see him do that. Like, it's just like, I definitely fanboy. But that's, oh my god, hold on. So maybe you can kind of relate to this a little bit, because I feel really bad about this, but there's been people that do for like 6-7 years, and one of them was True Squadron, and I met him on a Discord call for the first time, and I like lost my crap. Like I was freaking out, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm a huge fan. Like, and it's just like, obviously I'm a very big fan of everyone's content. I really like to see what everyone's doing, but it was just like a completely different experience where I was like, oh my god, it was like a celebrity on that call. Even it's just Kennedy. like now it's kind of like it's just Kennedy, but like I literally lost my mind, and it's like I feel like that's gonna start to come out a little bit at Brick World, and I'm kind of scared.
No, do it. As long as I live for that. Like, I live for someone fanboying about somebody else. Like watching, oh my god, Caleb and Michael. Like when Tyler showed up, like came up the escalator, and then you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say after that, but when he came up or when they found out he was there, they ran to him and tried to talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just fun to see, like seeing everyone's like, you know, people they look up to in this space,
right.
having them not only interact like online. That's you
Yeah.
know, obviously interacting online is great, but like actually physically getting to speak to the person, it puts them in a different perspective.
Yes.
And, you know, after a minute, like it's just I missed that because I've come, you know, when the first Brick World that I went to. That's when it got to me, like almost everybody.
Okay.
Right? Like 3 years ago. Not like almost everybody, but everybody that showed up.
Right.
And a lot of them I've known for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like Danny Bob. Like I've known her for a very long time. Like she's been on Cali Brick Click. We've conversed online a bunch of times, but I never got to actually physically meet her.
Right.
Or like, this time around, Greg from London Bridge Bricks, like we've been conversing online for years.
He's a great guy.
Finally came to great dude.
Yeah.
And so no matter if the YouTuber is huge or if they're small, like if we've built a relationship online, to just finally meeting up in person, it's like a surreal feeling. And then watching, as the years progress, like that's kind of escaping me, slowly but surely, because I'm slowly starting to meet almost everyone that I would want to meet at that given time.
Right.
And then until someone else shows up, like someone new that comes up. Yeah. Like I don't have that feeling, but I live off someone like yourself, someone like Caleb, Michael, like doing that same rush. It's like it kind of brings it back to the joy of that all over again. Yeah, and it's fun as like I enjoy it. Like
you might want to stick around at Brick World then, because I'm just gonna be like there's a whole list I have that I want to meet Emma, I want to meet Holly, I want to meet Ryan,
don't call Emma.
Oh,
Emily.
Sorry.
Emily.
My bad. I get that.
Yeah, tell everybody. She doesn't like being called Emily. She won't say it to you, but just
okay.
Emily.
I'll keep that in mind. Emily, Holly, Ryan, and then of course everyone I've already been conversing. Like I'm so excited now to meet you. Like there's like so many people that I'm just so excited to meet, and I'm kind of nervous that they're gonna be like, whoa, like.
Oh no, don't worry. As long as you're not a creep.
No.
Weird.
No.
Fine.
No. I kind of like. Definitely not, but I'm very, very excited about meeting everybody and getting to know them.
I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see this.
It's gonna be like.
I'm like, well, the thing is, like, everyone's used to it. Like, there's always that, like, oh, cool, and then you talk. The thing is, Brick World, right? Like, you're gonna have so much time with these people,
right?
So you're gonna have so much time. You're gonna have very little time. It's kind of a weird thing, because you can only. Like, when you're coming to meet each other first time, when there's a lot of people, you're trying to give everybody your time. Like, you're trying to, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. Yeah. To be able to, like, give them, like, if you were to talk to me, I would try to talk to as much as I can. Yeah. And then everyone kind of, you understand that I'm going to talk to other people, so you're going to let me go. Right? You have to hold me, hold me hostage. Everyone kind of knows that. But then there's going to be points of times throughout the convention where we're just going to be hanging out in the same area, so we'll be talking the entire time. Yeah. So,
and that's,
it's a really cool thing.
And that's what I'm really excited for, because with these streams, like I've tried to reach out to a few bigger people. Coconut, Harry. I even reached out to Harry, especially after the whole drama he had recently. I reached out to him, just like consoling him, just like, hey, listen, I understand what you're going through. It's happened to me, all that. And so like, there's also people like Holly. Like she's kind of like next on my list. I'm like, I'm gonna reach out to her. She's not gonna respond, but I'm gonna reach out to her. And then, like, I'm gonna see her at Chicago, and then I will have her on as a guest. Like, it's just, like, one of those things where, like, I have this whole list that, like...
Good.
Is it, like, realistic? Hopefully. Like, we'll see.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, the thing is, like, when it comes to getting guests on for a show, whether it be a stream or an actual Lego show, or a podcast, like... Especially when it comes to like bigger creators that you feel like are out of reach, right? Yeah. And usually when you say it's out of reach, it's just because they just haven't come on their radar yet, and it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to be able to get someone like that to come on. Yes. Because when they see your message, right, it's like, what are they going to do? They're going to look and see who's friends with you first, right? Or who's following you back. And if it's someone like who that's in their circle sees that they're following you, they may reach out to that person, like, hey, do you know this person? And then they'll be like, yeah, I was on a show with them. He seems pretty cool. Yeah. And then that is the beginning of like, your rapport, which is the reason why we're that whole Harry like shabuckle, right? Right. If you're burning bridges, right? Like, what are you doing? Right. Like, you're only hurting yourself in the foot. So, it takes a little bit. Really, it's just a trust aspect of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't know you that well at all.
Right. I know. I came completely out of the blue.
It was, and I'm like, okay, let me. But what my due diligence was. Who's following you? And I saw the people who were following. I'm like, okay, cool, easy, yeah, for sure. Let me reach back out. And then I kind of took a deep dive into your content, and I'm like, okay, there's really good potential here.
I appreciate it.
And then I started watching like some of your streams. I'm like, okay, cool. He's not gonna put me on blast for something that I didn't do or something like that. I can trust him.
Yeah.
And then that's why I kind of took me a minute to kind of respond. Like I was kind of like doing my own due diligence.
Yeah.
And over time, like people are not gonna need to do that because of who you bring onto your show.
Yeah.
Like if I'm on here, then you might get someone else on here. They might, and you'll build a catalog, and then people are like, "Yeah, I want to go on that show." And then people will be knocking on your door to come on your show.
Right.
And then you're gonna be like, okay.
No, but that was exactly it. Yeah.
It's gonna be the reverse aspect. You're gonna start doing your own due diligence on them.
Wow.
Like, who are you? Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be a switch one day, and I hope it happens sooner rather than later.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, have that ambition. Like that's cool. Like you want all these people to come on.
So if Holly reaches out, you'll know why. If Holly reaches out, you'll know why. Like it's
yeah, I'll get a message for sure.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Yeah. Who's
on? Trust me, it'd be dope.
Who's behind the bricks? No, because everyone's starting to get me confused with Beyond the Brick because it's so similar. And it's like, and then I've gotten comments where like, my logo makes no sense to my channel. So now I'm starting to think like, how do I change my logo? What am I changing it to? I've had people reach out like, hey, I want to do all your graphic design work. I was like, hey, I appreciate it. I just cannot afford that right now. Like, it's.
Oh, your logo is different. I don't know what it means.
Yeah. It's I actually had to design it for architecture. It was like like a personal interest that also has your initials in it. So my full name is Luke Beerley, and those are my initials, and then it's the brick. And I was just like, okay, how do I keep the similar aspect of the logo now? Because like the Lego is my interest. I had to have my initials. How do I keep the brick somehow in there while changing
it? The brick in there?
What?
Do you want to keep the brick in there?
I don't have to, but like, I don't want to take such a shift that like the people constantly coming back are like, who is this guy? But like,
fair enough.
If there are new suggestions, I'm like completely open because at this point I'm like, I need to do something where I become a little more recognizable. But
get rid of the brick.
Yeah, seriously.
Figure out your name. I mean, the thing is, like, you're built a following already, which is great.
Right.
The logo is significant to recognize, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
But the brick is like, you just sound like every other brick channel that's out there.
Right.
Like, what, everyone I know that's big, right? That has bricks in their name. They either remove it or they wish you never had it.
Yeah. So that's actually really good to know. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Like, remember what I said with Emily, what she said with the 7-year rule, right? Mm-hmm. What if you want to pivot your content? If it has brick in it,
right?
Like, what if you actually want to do something with architecture or flowers or whatever?
Right.
Kind of keep something more generic.
Yeah.
You'll be more recognizable because they'll remember, Firebird.
Yes.
Like, even though he has a brick in it, but like he's same process. Like he's like,
right.
But like they'll remember Firebird. They'll remember Goldfry. They'll remember True Squadron. Right.
Yes.
Like you'll have a name. It's not brick because it's not brick. It stands out within the Lego space.
Yeah.
Because
and that's
it's not a brick.
But that's something that Emily does so well is too. Like she has managed to grow significantly and grab all this attention. Like I saw she was doing the collaboration. It's Cinemark, right? She's doing that collaboration.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. Like she has no idea who I am, but I look up to her because like it's crazy that like it's kind of to the point of meeting people. It's like they have no clue who I am at all. But like I look up to these people. And like you are all adults, and of course I'm gonna look up to all of you guys because you've all set an example of how the community should be. You're all vocalizing your morals, which all align with my personal values, and it's like these are the people I want to surround myself with to build lifelong friendships.
Yeah, keep knowing. I was with one of my club brothers yesterday because I went to one of my motorcycle club parties.
Yeah. So
one of my boys was like, because he wants to he wants to do well in business.
Okay.
Right? He wants to invest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he looks at our brothers that are around and we're like, yeah, these are the guys. Like these guys, I love them to death. I know they got my back, but
Yeah.
when it comes to money, I'm not dealing with these fools.
That's
Like,
fair.
I
No,
want
that's
to surround
fair.
myself with people that are succeeding, because if you're around people that are succeeding, you want to do better yourself. So when it
Yes.
comes to content creation, it's the same aspect. Like, surround yourself with people that are doing well in the game, so that way you can learn from or be inspired by,
Yes.
and they can keep you accountable for your work or lack thereof. Because with my group, with my circle, we do the same thing. We hound each other all the time for
Yeah.
not posting
Yeah.
something, or
Yeah.
when something could be done better, or we pump each other up. You know what I mean? We do the best we can. So
Right.
in this space, surround yourself with people, whether that be us, somebody else, or the people that you've already have. Because the circle that you just mentioned earlier, that were your collabs,
Yeah.
that's a good circle.
I
that's
love
a
my
great one.
circle. I want to.
Yeah.
I've always been this way with friendships in real life. I have
Uh-huh.
many different circles.
Good.
I kind of want it to be that way in this space as well. I kind of want to
Yeah.
I don't want to, like you said, like insert myself, but I want to start to like butt in just a little bit, just like yeah, just like starting to burrow in a little and just be like, hey.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Do it. I mean, obviously be tactful about it.
Yes, right.
But I think it'll be fine. Like, if you just keep doing what you're doing, I think it'll be dope.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that means a lot.
Your logo can be more distinctive.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I
100%.
can't tell what it is.
That's literally the one thing that I get is like, what?
But that would be kind of cool though, because no one knows what it is. You're at that early stage right now,
Yeah.
where you're defining the importance of it. So let's say you just stuck with it. When
Yeah.
that logo shows up, I'll know exactly who that is.
That's true.
Over time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I might stick with it.
It'll go either way.
The logo, yeah.
Either
I
way.
mean, so it's just the name then, because like I really am happy with the logo because I created it. I'm happy with my channel
Yeah.
banner too. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I spent last fall break. I took a green screen and I was like, all right, it's gonna look like the brick is hovering in my hand. Like this is gonna be epic, and and then I did it and I was like, this is exactly what I want, and now I want to transform that into like. I'm not great at graphic design, but I want to somehow transform it into just me holding out my hand and the Lego set building itself, or like a mock,
Whoa.
like that's kind of what I want to take it to that level for
That's
my
cool.
channel banner, and like I still want to have what my values are and what my content is, like mocks, army build, all that stuff. But I'm gonna start to like slowly evolve what the graphic design like part is. So I feel like a
That's
name
cool,
change would like fit with that.
I mean, to be fair, you can change your name whenever you want,
Right.
right? You could
Right.
change your logo whenever you want. You don't have to do it early. You can do it later.
Right.
You know, it comes in the realm of like, do you want to like just not deal with the headache of changing everything now? Like, let's say if you start wanting,
Right.
like, if you want to put yourself in an LLC, like if you want to actually turn this into a business, like,
Right.
then you need to know your name.
Yeah. It's
So
also
you know your logo.
yeah, it's tough because Lego also has the campaign behind the bricks. And it's like, okay, now I'm just competing with Lego. It's just not working.
But that could also work in your favor because people
That's
are going to be
true.
typing it anyways. So
It's true.
it'll
It's
pop
true.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a funny way of just looking at it, like trying to see the positive and negatives of all of it. But
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine. You'll be good.
Yeah. So it's just all about experimentation is what I've learned. As long as there's experimentation, like as long as you're continuing to develop curiosity and inspiration from someone or somewhere, you're all set.
All right. Well, let me ask you a question then to kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
So, what are your goals with all of this? I kind of got a hint of it throughout the whole thing. I know you kind of want to do it full time, but what are you going to do to actually get there?
Oh wow, that's a really good question. Wow. Okay. Okay. I want to start off by saying I appreciate that question because every time I get a question, it's what's your favorite Lego set? What's your like origin story? And those are great questions. I'm not knocking anyone who asked me that. I go ahead, ask me. But I give the same answer every time. So this allows me to branch out. So okay, my goal for this, it still is a hobby. It started out as a hobby, still is a hobby because I'm not making enough to call it a job. However, when I talk about it with my friends, I'm like, this is a job. I treat it as such, even though it is a hobby. And so I developed this mindset, this very professional mindset about it, where as long as I'm improving something each time and the people I'm interacting with are like improving my mindset, improving my content, like, and I'm able to give back to them, because they're helping me so much. I want to give back. So it started out as like a fun thing, and then as I've gone into it, it's like, how can I help people? Like, I want to inspire people at the end of the day. Yes, this would be great as a full-time job. Like, I love doing this. I love Lego. I love them as a company. But I really just want to help inspire people at the end of the day. Like, I want them to make their own creations. Like, it's not easy. I'm sure